and I direct our travel program, and I'm happy that you're able to join us today. I want to introduce you to your host. I know she reached out to you by email a couple of days ago, but her name is Megan Cunningham, and so she'll be serving as your host, and she's wonderful. So I think you'll really enjoy traveling with her. So, Megan, do you want to say a few words or?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm very excited to get to know you guys and spend this adventure together. It's going to be really fun. I'm a communications manager in the MSU Alumni Office, so I work directly with Regina all the time on various marketing projects like the Spartan Pathway. So I'm really excited to experience this. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Okay, I'm going to introduce to you Emily. Emily's from Go Next, and she's going to give us a briefing on the Tahitian Legends cruise coming up for you. Go ahead.
Perfect. Thanks, Regina. I, like she said, work at Go Next. I've been at Go Next for 11 years, in the travel industry for 20 plus. And today I'm just going to start from the beginning of the cruise till the end of the cruise, and just hopefully answer any questions that you have. You can either raise your hand, put them in the chat, or wait till the end and we can get your questions answered. The first thing I'm going to talk about is your final documents. Final documents would have been sent to you via email from Go Next. In the final documents, you will have your Oceania cruise summary, a general information page, and then also a flyer if you're booked on our pre-cruise trip. One thing I like to point out about the general information page is our emergency phone number is on that. And this is going to be for if you have any trip interruptions, you're going to want to call us, your flight changes, anything that changes on your outbound flight, we need to know, just so we know when you're arriving. Even if you don't have a transfer, we at least know that you're delayed, and then we will be waiting for you. That's the 612-802-5560. And I always tell people, you might as well just put it in your phone ahead of time so you're not rifling through your papers if something does happen. Then you just have it right there. This number is a cell phone number. We only have one person on call. So if you get a voicemail, they will return your call. You can also text them, leave them a message, whatever works, but we will give you a call back as soon as they get off the phone. And in the meantime, if something happens, like your flight is delayed and you think you're going to miss your connection, I always suggest that you can call us, but if you're waiting, also get in line with the airline that you're booked on and make sure that you ask them if there is a different flight or whatever to get you there. I always like to say that I am on a cruise. This means that you have to get there on that day and they won't push you off for a day later. And if you don't obviously like the answer the airline gives you, definitely give us a call. And then we work with Oceania to figure out how to get you there for your cruise. If your luggage is delayed, one thing I like to say is file a claim at the airport before you depart. This will help us find your luggage. When you get on board Oceania, the program managers will help you, the concierge will help you. And if we have this ticket, those numbers help us find the luggage a lot faster. One thing that I do is when I depart my hometown, I like to make sure that the ending ticket where I'm going to shows the airport code of where I'm landing. And in this case, it would be PPT. So that is one thing that I like to check. For packing for this trip, just a little hint or tip, I pack 2 suitcases if somebody's going with me. I put a little luggage or a little clothing in one and then clothing in the other. This way, if one gets lost, I have some of my husband and I's clothes in this one and then in the other one also. So, and you can also pack some. I also pack my really important things like it's hard to find a swimsuit or my medication or your CPAP. I carry that on the airplane with me just because I know these are important things that I'm going to need to have. One thing about prescription medicine is if it's prescribed from a doctor, keep it in the original pill bottle. If it's vitamins or just daily supplements, you can put those in just a Monday, Tuesday, one of the pill dispensers, and that'll be fine. You can also leave it in your bottle, whatever works for you. Oceania for this sailing does not require the COVID vaccination. There's no restrictions on this sailing. Once you've landed in Paradise, Tahiti, you'll pick up your luggage and then go through customs. At this point, depending on what you guys are doing, if you're arriving on your own, then you'll make your way to wherever you're going. If you are on the Go Next pre-cruise, you're going to want to go and look for, after you get everything done, look for the ground transportation sign and then follow it and look outside for a Go Next. If they can get inside, they will get inside the area. But look for a Go Next representative they usually have a bright neon sign, either orange, green, or pink. So look for one of them. And if it's just one person, they might have your name, because most of the time for our pre-cruises, we send a town car or a smaller van. And if you're on an Oceana transfer the day of the cruise, Oceana will pick you up from the airport and bring you to the cruise. Works the same way. You go down to ground transportation, but you'll be looking for an Oceana sign, and their sign will be blue and white. It says Oceana Cruises on it. They will have big buses, and they will filter back and forth from the airport to the ship. Tahiti's a very small island, so they might only have one bus running. So if you have, if you're waiting for a little bit, it might 15 minutes or so. But if you think you've waited too long, call the emergency number and just say, hey, we've been here for 20 minutes, just wondering. And then our on-call person will be in contact with the program manager, and they can see where dispatch is for the buses. When you arrive at the pier, you will check in with Oceana. You've probably already checked in with Oceana online, and if you haven't, you can still. At this point, they're going to issue you your world card. The world card gets you on and off the ship. It acts as your key room and any onboard payments. Oceana is a cashless cruise. So if you do need local cash, the currency there is the Polynesian franc. But they also take US dollars. So if you don't want to exchange any money, you don't have to. Most places these days also take credit cards. If it's a small place or a food truck or something, they might only take cash, but the US dollar is accepted. When you're over there, and if you want to take out their currency, I suggest doing it at a bank. Otherwise, you could exchange cash on board with Oceana, and they charge a 5% fee. When you embark the cruise, your room might not quite be ready. What this means is you can use all the public areas. Terrace Cafe will be open for lunch. You can explore the ship and check everything out ahead of time. You could sit in the library and relax. You could sit in baristas and have a coffee, whatever you'd like. The captain will announce your room once it's ready. Once you get to your room, your luggage may or may not be there yet. If you brought your luggage with you to the ship, it will be in your room. They just have a lot of pieces of luggage probably to carry up. So depending on where your luggage is in line, will depend on when your luggage arrives at your room. So like I said, if you brought it to the ship, it will be to your room. So no need to panic. Oceana staterooms, they have two 110 volts and two 220 volts, along with USB outlets. If you're on the pre-cruise, might want to check into getting an adapter if you think you'll need one. Instead of bringing an adapter, I always just bring a battery pack. If you're only there for one day, that would work also. Each stateroom is included, has internet included. If you need to upgrade your internet, you can do so when you get on board, like if you need to work or stream anything. Depending on where you're at out there and how close you are, most of the time you'll be close to an island because they're so tight, or close, I should say. So you probably won't, the service will be probably not bad. But if it's spotty, you could always upgrade to something else. Another thing that'll be in your room is the Currents. The Currents is Oceana's daily magazine for the next day. It's like, or I should say letter. It's a 4-page letter usually. And it has in there what time you're arriving in the port, what port you're arriving in, what time you must be back on the ship if you're doing something on your own. It'll also tell you when high tea is, the shows, any specials for the day. It can tell you exercise classes. And one important thing on there is the emergency number. The emergency number can be used if you're out exploring on your own and something happens and you need to call the ship. Just go ahead and give that number a call. I take a picture of it or bring it along with me, whatever you guys prefer, but I usually keep it handy. Oceana is a country club casual cruise line. What that means is no shorts, no jeans, and no beach flip-flops in the specialty dining and in the grand dining room. The rest of the cruise, like the Terrace Cafe and like Waves Grill and any of the open areas, those are, you know, country club casual. You can wear your going out, you know, shore excursions clothes, whatever you want. For the rest of the ship, it's only specialty restaurants in the grand dining room that have the dress code. Some people do dress up for dinners. It's completely up to you. If you don't need to wear a suit jacket, some people do. Some people get fancy. Again, it's up to you. Shore excursions. Now, over in Tahiti, I did look at the weather. I think it was going to be 70 to 80. So definitely wear comfortable shoes. The mornings could start out cooler, so maybe dress in layers. So then you're prepared for the day, because if it gets up to hot 80, it could be hot for you if you're out walking around outside. Let's see here. I might as well go over the events right now. By now, you guys will have also received, it actually was probably 75 days ago or so. It's onboard events of what's happening for your guys' group, for the Michigan State alumni. I'm just going to go over it here real quick. The 31st, you're going to have the captain's reception, and these will all be announced. You'll get this flyer when you get on board. The program managers will give it to you, and you'll also see this stuff in the currents, like the captain's reception. And for the Go Next reception, it's February 1st. This is where the program managers, you will meet with them and they'll introduce themselves and tell you what they're there to do. They're going to be just like Megan. They're going to help you with anything that you need. They're going to be your secondary hosts. Like if Megan's out on shore and you need anything, you can always go to the program managers. The program managers are Lydia and Frank. And Lydia actually lives in Tahiti, so she will know everything about the islands. Let's see here. On February 2nd, we actually have Oregon State has a lecturer on board, Sea Turtles and Wildlife of the Pacific. February 3rd, we're going to do an alumni reception for you guys. February 4th, she's going to do another lecture, Seafood and You. And then on the 6th, we're going to have your Michigan State alumni group photo and dinner. This is the day, if you guys bring your school colors, a lot of people wear school colors on this day. And if you're bringing a flag, then we'll take your picture on the grand staircase and we'll send these pictures over to Regina so she can share them with you all. Specialty dining, that should be done by now. If you have not completed that, you will have to check once you're on board to see what's available. If you are booked in a concierge or a penthouse or a suite, the concierge desk can help you with the if you need to make any changes. If you are booked in other cabins, up in Terrace Cafe in the morning, there's a maitre d' up there usually right away in the morning to help you with changing dining. It is a specialty restaurant, so it's not as big as the Terrace Cafe or Grand Dining Room. So you can ask to be changed. It won't always maybe happen, but it doesn't hurt to ask if you need, like if you're like, oh, I have a long shore excursion that day and I can't do a shore excursion and I cannot do 2-hour dining. So you can check to see if there's any availability for a different night. Or if you meet some friends, you can see if you can combine tables on a night. All that is, possible just by asking. Program managers, when you get on board, if you want to go to their desk, it's on deck 4. They'll have your name badges there. And if you get on board and you're like too tired to grab them and you just want to retire to your room, then you can get them at the Go Next reception. They'll hand them out to you there. Also in your cabin is your shore excursion tickets. These will be in an envelope on the vanity, and in the envelope will be your tickets. If you are waitlisted for anything at this time, and you had something else for that day, you'll have 2 tickets in this envelope, and you'll have to go to Destination Services and just let them know which one you choose, so you're not charged for the other one. If you have any changes that you want to make on shore excursions, you also will go to this desk. I'll tell you, the first day is definitely going to be pretty busy, but if you have some changes that you want to make, I would definitely suggest standing in line for it. Shore excursions change all the time. So if there's something that you really want, like I said, people decide they're tired and they're like, hey, I don't want to do 3 shore excursions, day 1, day 2, and day 3. So they might cancel them, and then, people move around. On your shore excursion tickets, you can put MS or you can write out Michigan State, whatever you'd like. if you put this on the ticket, the program managers are going to look at it and they're going to say like, oh, Megan and Diane want to travel together because they're with the same school. So they'll put you on the same school together, or I'm sorry, on the same bus together. And in Tahiti, I don't know if anybody's been on a short or a Oceania cruise before, but in Tahiti, they actually dispatch shore excursions from outside. But Lydia and Frank will be the ones dispatching. So you'll, when their shore excursion is called, you will then just go up to the desk and give them your ticket, and then they will give you a bus ticket. And once the bus is ready to roll, they will call your bus ticket number, and then you guys will depart. So just make sure you go to Frank and Lydia, because even if there's not another Michigan State person on that tour, you'll be with other Go Next people. Other schools that are going to be on this sailing with you, just to name a few that are hosted, there's the Ohio State University, University of Washington, Oregon State, and UCLA. And then there's some other schools also on there that will be floating around with you guys. Let's see here. Tipping. Tipping is at your own discretion. If you're going on a 4-hour tour or an 8-hour tour, will depend on if you want, and if the driver gets you everywhere safely, and if you enjoyed the guide, feel free to tip. I always tip a little bit if I'm on a 4-hour or an 8-hour, it just depends. And if I enjoyed the service. Midway through the cruise, you're going to receive a questionnaire about your return flight. This is just in case anything has changed on your flight. You just want to let Oceania know so they can go ahead and make sure that you guys are on the right transfer. At the end of the sailing, you guys will get tickets also, and they'll be colored. At least the last time I was on, they were colored. And then they disembark, like brown ticket go, blue ticket go. And if you need a transfer, you can always sign up for a transfer on this sheet. Another thing that comes midway through the cruise is an invoice. You can also see your invoice on the TV in your room, but they will do a printed out one under the door. I like to check the invoice to make sure that all the charges are mine. Like I didn't go to the spa, or I didn't go to, or I didn't get a bottle of champagne or whatever. If you see something on there that's not yours, head to reception and make sure that they remove it. With this desk, I suggest going before the night of departure if you catch something. The night of departure is going to be very busy at that desk. And actually the morning of departure, when you guys are actually disembarking, there will be nobody at this desk, or almost impossible to find somebody. On your invoices also, they will be putting gratuities. These gratuities go for everybody on the ship. You can change them if you want with reception. You can lower them, raise them, whatever you want to do. For penthouse and above, they're $23 a day per person, and concierge and below is $18 a day per person. Again, you can adjust those if you'd like. If you just want to do Sally and Fred because you only worked with them the entire time, or your butler, or whoever you want to do it to, that's also fine. And then for when you disembark, Oceania will take you to the airport and you will get on your plane and go. If you have the Circle Island tour, that means you have a later flight, which I believe 98% of our Go Next travelers have later flights that night. So if you are doing the Circle tour, we will put you on the bus, we'll do a tour, we'll have lunch, and then we'll get you to the airport in time for your flight. And then you'll be home. I know that was a lot. If you guys have questions, I can answer. I can go over something again. I talk fast and it was a lot of stuff to take in.
Just one note regarding, I've been to Tahiti or the French Polynesian Islands before on this cruise. And just so you know that 80 degrees, because they're closer to the equator, so 80 degrees might feel a little hotter than maybe 80 degrees in the States. So just word of warning, and make sure you bring plenty of sunscreen. We have any questions?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the internet may not be very good, huh? So we may have to upgrade.
It really depends on what you're doing. If you're downloading or streaming, like if you're streaming Netflix or something, that might be spotty. If you're just answering emails, you'll be fine.
Okay, what's the cost to upgrade? I don't think I'll be doing much streaming, but what's the cost to upgrade, you know?
I do not know off the top of my head. Um, I was gonna say, I would say probably $20 a day. I don't think it's
Yeah, I
inexpensive.
can't recall off the top of my head what it is.
Yeah. Not many people do it because the reception is pretty good. And especially I think over there, because you're not going to be too far away from land. More when
Okay.
you're out seriously in the ocean, that is when we don't have good service.
Oh, and then would you upgrade then or no, that you can't upgrade when you're out there?
You won't need to for this sailing because you're so close to all the islands.
Okay, so if, and you only get one device in your room, is that at a time, is that correct?
You
They-
get two now.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
because we booked this before they changed over in October to the, what is it, Go Life or
Simply more.
Simply More? So when we talked to, was it Go Next we talked to?
Green.
When we talked to Go Next, they told us that since we were on the old package, we only got one.
Ooh, I will
I
look
don't-
into that.
yeah.
I thought it was everybody. Simply More, there is a different package for that versus O-Life, but I think the internet was going to be for everybody. But let's see
You know if
here.
those ships have upgraded yet, Emily?
Uh,
Because I know it was just on a few of the ships last year that had the Starlink.
Starlink. I do not believe the Nautica has Starlink.
Okay, all right, so
Um,
yeah, you may
let's
have
see.
to.
Let's
maybe
see.
have one.
Yeah, Brad, what's your last name?
Mast, M-A-S-T.
I'll email Oceana. So it's already 4:30 there. So I'm not for sure if I'll get an answer today, but I'll ask them if you have two internets per room, and then I'll send you an email and let you know.
Okay, and I just want to say, my wife's been, Laura has been on the phone with you guys a number of times, and you guys have been so helpful.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. I'll pass it along to the team.
Yeah, we are actually getting off the boat in Bora Bora instead of returning back to port because we're staying in an OWB for 4 nights there.
Oh,
So you guys helped accommodate that, so that was very helpful. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Oh, yeah, enjoy it. That'd be amazing.
Mhm.
So I have another question. Do a lot of people just leave the $18 a day per person? Do they raise it? Do they lower it? You don't really have any information on that.
I don't really think a lot of people lower it, and they will raise it. Like, it depends on, I mean, if you think you had exceptional service and you just really appreciate if like somebody went the extra mile for you, or you could just tip that person. You will notice, I don't know if you've ever been on Oceana before, but they are, I think, a top-notch cruise line. I'm not saying that just because we work with them. They are amazing. They like, I don't know how they know your names. I swear they have pictures downstairs and they just are like boop, 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 boop. But they're good. I mean, and their food is good, and everybody is great. And if something is on board not to your standards, definitely talk to the program managers, because Oceana definitely wants to know where they can improve, and they would talk to those employees that needed improvement. So it's always a learning thing for them too. So definitely, if you see something, let them know. Or if you want to just, you can definitely tip more if you think they deserve it.
Well, yeah, if
Yeah.
I have a problem, I'm going right to Megan.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait. It's Megan. Did I say Megan? I think it's Lydia. It's Lydia and Frank, but Lydia, she lives there. So yeah.
Yeah.
But if you know Megan, then you've been on an Oceana cruise before.
I
'cause
don't
she's
know
done-
Megan, but I'm looking forward to meeting her and everybody else.
I'm having a great time, I can tell.
Oh, I'm sorry. Megan, the host. Duh. Sorry.
Yeah, just so you know, there's a program manager named Megan Woods who is
Oh,
outstanding. And so
Okay.
that's what Emily, I think, was referring to. She
Yeah.
is unbelievable. And yeah, she's not hosting this cruise, but yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sometimes what I do, well, usually what I do is at the end of the cruise, I will, if I want to tip at my room attendant extra, I'll just leave it in the room and write their name on a note, and just leave it there the day that you disembark. So it's up to you. If for some reason you don't get a chance to interact with your room attendant, on the video screen or the TV screen, it does list who your room attendant is. So just
okay. And are you allowed to tip the bartenders? I mean, per drink?
Oh yeah, they'll actually put gratuity on your drinks if you don't buy the drink package. So
Yeah,
they'll
we
put.
bought we're getting the drink package, but you can still tip them and they can take it?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah. So, anyway. All right, any other questions? Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Regina, I do have one question.
Okay.
I sent it on the chat and maybe it didn't go through.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I had seen it and then we got talking. Okay. So Emily, if we're staying at the Intercontinental Hotel, will we need electrical converters / adapters?
I am not sure. I think so, but Intercontinental. Let's see here. I'm just quick Googling it to see. If not, I'm gonna say yes. I think everywhere will need a power converter. Let's see here. Do you need electrical power? You still need an adapter, yes. Yep. Tahiti does use North American sockets, it says. But these let's see here. Since it says you will still need an adapter to use your plug-in. So I would check with wherever you would buy a converter at. It's been so long since I bought mine. It looks like you can buy them on Amazon.
Does that mean that the wall socket is French, or what is the configuration of the local socket? Which is converter into?
Let's see here. So power plugs and sockets, type A, B, and E, standard voltage. It says standard voltage, which is 110, which is 110, 220. What kind of outlets? Let me just see. You know what? It does say 110 and 220. So you might be fine. Power adapters. I'm just on the Google here.
Okay. Diane, are you staying at the Intercontinental for pre-cruise?
Yes, and one night on our own, so 2 nights.
Okay. All right. Because we have adapters that I could mail out to you if you want one, but I don't know that you'll get it in time.
We wouldn't. No, we have a variety of adapters. We just weren't sure which configuration to take.
Yes.
And the agents on the phone at the 1-800 number, they would probably know better than I, because they get these questions all the time. I only
Okay.
get questions once in a while. I give them a call and they can always check with the person who contracted this hotel. And then that person can reach out to the hotel and find out exactly if you need them or not.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Right. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for joining us, and Emily, thank you as well. And if you do have questions that come up in the next few days, feel free to reach out to myself or Megan, and we'll try and get answers for you. And what will happen now is that once this is finished, we'll have a video. We've been recording this, and so once the link for the video is available, I'll mail it out to everyone on the chance you want to watch it again. So, okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful weekend and have a fantastic time in French Polynesian Islands. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank
Go
you.
green.
Go green. Go white.
Bye.
Bye-bye.